Welcome everyone. I am your host, Lex Black. You're tuning into my show, Midnight Arcade. This is episode 12, and I am super excited to have you guys here. We are in season 2 of my show, man. Again, I can't thank you enough for tuning in. But before we get into anything, I ask of you this. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell icon to be notified for whenever I drop that new heat. You heard? Yes, sir. Today, we are talking about Boruto Chapters 66 and 67. Again, I'm going to be meshing everything together, so bear with me, all right? So we're just going to start off with the events from 66 and flow right on in. Kawaki instinctively seems to know how to operate the new dojutsu, what is it, Sukuna Hikona, very well. And he does so to extreme effect as he ruthlessly battled Momoshiki. This fight was annoying the shit out of me, though, honestly, because a lot of it was just jutsu negation, right? One of the dopest things that I love about Naruto is the act of activating a jutsu and seeing what it can do to another opponent or target. But even more than that, one of the coolest things that I really enjoy about jutsus is how they are applied to their situation. And with Boruto, it seems like it's all about jutsu absorption, jutsu negation, now which to me is like, it's no effing fun. But then again, on the other hand, it means that your knuckle game, it needs to be A1, as Ishiki found out the hard way. Shout out to Kurama and Baryon. You heard? Boruto is able to briefly achieve consciousness and seize control over his body once more, telling Kawaki that they're gonna have to resort to that plan to deal with Boruto's karma and the Momoshiki possession, which by the way was short for getting brutally impaled through the chest by Kawaki. Man, in the midst of that, before that even happened, there was a lot of back and forth. Naruto was trying to intervene because, of course, what father wouldn't, seeing their son going through this? I know I would if I were in Naruto's position, so I get it. So he wasn't really applying the full force of what he could do because that's his kid. Either way, to make matters worse, Kawaki he really brought it home by sprouting extra spikes through his transform arm to finish the job once he finally got it done. Because Boruto, like I said, he seized control of himself again after he was able to shut down Momoshiki for a second, and he was saying, all right, bro, you got to do it. Go ahead, do it. And Kawaki was like, good. Didn't even hesitate. Yeah. These dudes are really about it, okay? So basically in chapter 66, Hokage Naruto was pretty much a non-factor. And this was all about Kawaki showcasing his new jutsu and him battling with Boroshiki and then battling with Code. Chapter 67 was just an extension of those events, obviously. Throughout the chapter, Naruto is rightfully beyond himself about what happened to his son because Kawaki did what needed to be done and impaled him through his chest. So Naruto is beside himself. Shikamaru gets released because Kawaki did what he had to do and essentially thwarted Code's plans of delivering a suitable sacrifice for the Ten Tails. My God, that is getting so old. That's so old to me. It's starting to get really, really old. And then we have Ada becoming more and more vocal about the idiocy of Code's plan and the growing danger Cody Boy here is finding himself in. As I've been saying, Code is nowhere near as strong as the writers try to lead us, the readers, to believe. I was never fully sold on the idea that Code was this big, strong guy. I always said it with the pretext of, the big bad, air quotes, right? And I was right to believe so, because once Kawaki decided to go really hard and reveal that he has karma again and it's elevated, Code became fodder to him. And Kawaki was stomping him out left and right. Kawaki used his new dojutsu to genius level effect by literally shrinking Code's claw marks for his teleportation jutsu. Now we see in glaring detail that this supposed coveted ability has some very big drawbacks, made painfully obvious in chapter 67. While it is like flying Raijin in some ways, it also differs because Code's jutsu requires him to physically go wherever his claw marks are, essentially making every teleportation motion a two-step process. And in the shinobi world of the Naruto verse, with a powerful, skilled, and well-seasoned shinobi, they could capitalize on that. Code looks super goofy, creating the claw marks only to taste dirt due to Kawaki's Sukuna Hikona literally shrinking the claw marks to nothing. And it was utterly satisfying to see Code look like that. Then proceed to get his ass handed to him by Kawaki. It was beautiful, beautiful stuff. Even more satisfying was seeing Code acknowledge internally that he probably doesn't have what it takes to beat Kawaki in his new form, and he could very well get bodied. And it was looking like that quite a bit. Man, listen, let me tell you something. He was on the back foot since chapter, 65, 66, when the brothers arrived on the scene and it was just them two. When it was just Boruto by himself without Momoshiki's interference, and then Borushiki. And man, Code has been on the back foot. Then he got shot by Momoshiki with Rasendan. I'm not forgetting about that. That's Thug Shiki right there, man. Don't you ever forget it. But in the midst of all that, all right, Ada kept badgering Code about keeping Kawaki alive, as if Buddy really needed any help at that moment, because he was stunning Code. She also clearly states that she will rock Code's shit if Kawaki dies or is severely hurt in any way. So much so that she's willing to stop Code herself for Kawaki. All for the simple fact that Kawaki is essentially immune to her hypnosis charm ability, which is another annoying ability with these cyborgs. And I'm never gonna let it go. Writers, you and I. Shikamaru, on the other hand, as soon as he got released, he darted over to Naruto, and he spent the rest of the chapter trying to get Naruto out of his funk. You know, old boy was really, really going through it. Just imagine, and that's your son, you know what I mean? Like, so I get it. As Kawaki fought with Code, Naruto and Shikamaru also found time to discuss the fate of Kawaki, with Naruto ultimately deciding that despite Kawaki killing his son, his other son, Boruto, Kawaki is also my son, and we cannot abandon him. That's essentially what the conclusion that he came to. And I mean, yeah, considering that Kawaki is doing all of this for you, Hokage Naruto. Now, I do think it's a little bit tunnel vision-esque of Kawaki, but again, he's a young kid. He had a hard life. No one ever showed him any kind of love or any kind of care, or any kind of concern. He's always been manipulated. He's always been used as a tool. Naruto and his family are the first people that showed Kawaki any kind of humanity, love, care, concern. And Kawaki does not want to let that go. Imagine you growing up the way he did and finally finding someone that shows that, yo, I really care about you. You are my kid now. You don't want to let that go. So I understand Kawaki's disposition. I understand why he's so focused on eliminating anyone in Hokage Naruto's way. And Kawaki is becoming quite a powerful ally. So that's good for Konoha, right? Because Naruto's for Konoha. Kawaki's going to be for Naruto. So in turn, Kawaki's for Konoha in many ways, right? But that's with conditions, as we all know. Back on the battlefield, though, Code is about to get his face shot up by Kawaki with the energy blast, as he so loves to do, like he did with, what's his name, Boro? Walked straight up to him and just said, yeah, big bang attack like Vegeta, you know what I mean? Code, at the very last minute, partially teleported Damon's OP ass in, like literally, to deflect the blast at the last possible second, knocking Kawaki out cold before dipping out of the scene. Now, I'm jumbling some of the events. I just read the chapter and I just wrote down some notes. Forgive me, guys. Correct me in the comment section if I'm wrong on anything. But as he discusses everything with Ada, he's come to the full realization that he needs his limiters off. Yeah, it's pretty obvious, right? And despite doubt from Ada at Code achieving that, Code clearly is confident that he's found a way to infiltrate Konoha, despite the heavy security around Shady McGrady Amado. And the panel at the end alludes to Shikamaru being that very pathway inside, probably by way of some small hidden claw mark on Shikamaru's body or his clothing somewhere, and that's gonna piss me off, but because of plot, I'm imagining that's just what's gonna end up happening, right? Now to Boruto himself, right? He's alive, y'all, okay? As if anybody had any doubt. I know I didn't. As I said on episode 10 of my show, Midnight Arcade, as you're watching, the supposed death of Boruto was cap, in all caps. I knew it was nothing more than a sensationalized tool to build hype for the next issue. It wouldn't make sense for Boruto to die long before the flash forward scene where him and Kawaki fight at the monument. That'd be stupid. Boruto's plot armor is way too powerful for that, okay? So him dying at this juncture would be stupid. Naruto is found weeping over his boy when suddenly Boruto just wakes up and he's like, yeah, man, I'm good. I'm still here. Gotta love those writers, man. I mean, he didn't say that, but you know. Of course, this is Momoshiki's doing, right? As it turns out, time stopped again, and there was a discussion between Momoshiki and Boruto. Momoshiki manipulated and allocated the Otsutsuki power in Boruto's karma to heal his gaping chest wound, but it was done so at the cost of permanently eliminating any chance that Momoshiki could fully resurrect. To which Boruto thought, well, fuck, we won then, right? And Momoshiki was like, pump your brakes, kid. There's more to it. Because the process has somehow made Boruto 100% biologically, anatomically Otsutsuki, making him thus a suitable sacrifice for the Ten Tails. To which Momoshiki had the mad scientist laughter. Joke's on you, Boruto. Ha, yeah, but joke's on you too. You can't resurrect, bitch. So say something, right? But, you know, as they discuss things, all of these facts are unbeknownst to Code for the time being, and pretty much everyone else except for Boruto and Momoshiki. So we'll see what happens, what comes of that, right? So in closing, guys, I told y'all, like I said before, the supposed death of Boruto was nothing more than a misdirection. I'm also fully convinced that somehow two things are going to happen, okay? Code will get to Amado, and the secret, powerful Konoha ally that Amado was working on will also be released into the wild to nullify any power-ups that Code will gain by getting his limiters off. Now, if you guys haven't noticed the pattern by now, especially when Kishimoto was at the helm in Shippuden, anytime Sasuke got a power-up, Naruto got a power-up, or vice versa. And anytime, and as we saw with the nerfing of the top dogs, they get nerfed at the same time too. So I don't think that's limited to just them, because now the plot is solely driven around the new big bad in Code and his crew and Kawaki and Boruto. So Kawaki got a power up. He's basically a Shiki 2.0, but he's not an evil sociopathic bastard. And then we have Boruto, who was able to thwart Momoshiki's full resurrection, and now he's probably going to find a way to be able to fully take advantage of the power that he's been bestowed upon with, you know, the Otsutsuki power, right? And then Code will get to Amado, get his limiters off, and then the new ally that Amado has been working on for Konoha will be released. So level up. That's just what's going to end up happening, right? I also believe that somehow in the midst of all of this, that Naruto and Sasuke will receive some sort of buff of their own that maybe may not bring them back to what they were with Rinnegan and Kurama, but where Rinnegan and Kurama's up here with them, but maybe bring them to like they're still formidable without it right now. Let's be real. And as I've stressed all throughout season 1, they are still the bosses. Let's just keep it up. Let's just keep it a bean. I can do a separate episode talking about how ridiculous they still are. I really can. And if you guys want me to, let me know in the comment section. All right. Aside from that point, I believe that at some point they're going to get some sort of buff to that brings them up to par a little bit. And of course, Kawaki is going to be a major opposing force when it comes to him being a powerful fighting force against Code and his cronies. I'm also willing to wager that using Sukuna Hikona isn't the only way to nullify the claw marks as teleportation portals for Code. If the writers were truly on their shit, which I don't really think they are, even though I still tune in every week, but you know, that's whatever. I bet you one of the first people to find an alternative to nullifying Code's teleportation jutsu will be Sasuke. Aside from Amado, of course, would be Sasuke, followed shortly thereafter by Naruto, or vice versa. Naruto by way of some unspoken of, unheard of, unseen sage ability that we've yet to see. Who knows, right? Now, also, I already cannot stand Damon for his over-the-top broken reflective ability. That shit pisses me off. It just does. And I really believe in my heart of hearts that the best person to rock that little kid shit, eventually when it comes to that point, is none other than, you guessed it, Rock Lee. Damon may be able to deflect or reflect any jutsu thrown at him, but I don't really think he can bang with the drunken fist. All right, think about that and marinate on that for a little bit. Ada, well, she's still a super creep, and we'll see how she gets herself further involved into all the shenanigans here. But ultimately, I'm just tired of these OP ass Kara members, man, and I really just hope they all get dusted in spectacular fashion. Give us satisfying fights. Yes, you want to make sure that Boruto is the leading character this time around, but I need the big dogs to get their satisfying victories too. That's just what I'm sticking to. I'm not gonna stop sticking to it. Anyway, y'all, let me know what you guys think will happen in chapter 68 and beyond. How do you think things will pan out? Let me know in the comment section. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell icon to be notified for whenever I drop that new heat. You heard, this is Midnight Arcade episode 12. I am your host, Lex Black, and I am out.